Hey guys, this is our Monday, Tuesday video for week 2 of July curriculum. So before we get going, I want you to get yourself warmed up. Jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups, pivot front-ups, 10 on each side of those, and then finish with 30 seconds of mountain climbers or whatever exercise is going to get your body pumping. So get warmed up and we'll get going. Ready, set, go. All right, guys, so today we're going to start off learning another stance. Last week, we learned the straddle stance, okay? And today we're going to learn something called the long forward stance, okay? Long forward stance is really similar to a ready stance, but it does have some major differences, all right? When we do a ready stance, right, when we say right side back ready stance, you take your right foot, you step back a little bit into the side, bring your hands up in a ready position. A long forward stance really has to do with where we place our feet, okay? When we're in just a regular ready stance, my feet are still just about shoulder width apart, okay? And this is about how far back I'm stepping. Again, I'm never gonna be on a tightrope like this, right? I don't wanna step back and set my foot directly behind my front foot because then I'm having to balance, right? We're always at least keeping our feet shoulder width apart when we're in a ready stance, okay? Now, a long forward stance is very similar to a ready stance. I'm gonna show you what that looks like and then talk about how it's different. Here's what a long forward stance looks like. Okay, now long forward stance, you'll notice that my feet are still wider apart. Think train tracks, right? A set of train tracks, one foot on each track, just one is further back and one's ahead. With the long forward stance, I do step bigger, okay? Right? Look how much farther apart my feet are now than they were in just the regular ready stance, okay? That means I've got a deeper bend in my knee. My back foot I'm not up on my toe, but I have my heel driving into the ground, and I've got all 10 toes pointed in the same direction. Again, think train tracks, okay? You're not gonna stand sideways on the train tracks. We want our feet actually completely on those train tracks, so toes are pointed straight forward. Back heel is driving into the floor, but then I've got weight leaning forward into my front knee, and that is the long forward stance, okay? And also, instead of stepping back like we do into a ready stance, we step forward, okay? So stepping forward into that long forward stance, nice and deep, leaving that back foot on the ground. All 10 toes are pointed forward. What we don't want to do is this. This is not a good long forward stance. I got that back foot way out. I went too far, and now it's going to be really hard for me to do anything, right? And I got to kind of get myself back up. So you should be able to move easily into and out of a long forward stance. If I go too big, then that makes it really hard. Falling over, and I can't get back into my neutral position, okay? So I want you to first just, feel what a ready stance looks like, right? And then take that front foot and go out just a little bit farther, okay? Now my feet are slightly wider, and that distance between my feet is bigger, but I've got a nice steady stance. I'm not falling over, because if I've got one foot directly behind, especially when I go deep, now my balance is really way off. So make sure you keep your feet on those train tracks, all right? And your hands come up into a good ready position, as with almost any stance, okay? So one more time, stepping into our long forward stance, hands come up, back foot, heel pressing into the floor, front knee is bent, and that is the long forward stance. And what I want you to be able to do is step into a long forward stance with either side, okay? Again, train tracks, heel driving into the floor, front knee bent nice and deep, and hands up. And that is a long forward stance going either way, okay? And for today's 1 minute of determination, you're gonna be holding a long forward stance. What I want you to do is you step into the long forward stance, and at 30 seconds, you're gonna step back and switch real quick. So you're gonna be holding it for 30 seconds on each side to add up to an entire minute. holding that long forward stance, keeping your knee bent. If you go like this, you got to start the timer over. Or if you drop your hands, you got to start the timer over. I want you to hold that good long forward stance for the entire time, 30 seconds on each side. All right, so have some fun feeling that, finding the right position, and then practice the 1 minute of determination, 30 seconds on each side. Ready, set, go. Okay, so now that you've gotten really good at that long forward stance, we're gonna take that and combine it with the inside block that we started learning last week. Remember, inside block, keeping those arms up in good ready position, blocking to the inside when someone is punching straight down the middle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our long forward stance and we're gonna add a shift along with an inside block. So I'm inside blocking with my forward hand as I use my body to add some power to that, okay? So one way, this is how we do it in the katas when you move up to warrior class, is as part of the kata, you get ready by bringing your fist up here by your eyebrow, and then you step into your long forward stance and you shift and block the hand out. So I know that's a little different than starting from the ready stance, but we're not coming way back here like this, just bringing it right up here, and the other hand is out and ready, okay? And so we're gonna bring our left fist up to our eyebrow. Right hand is reaching out as if you were in a ready stance. You're gonna step into that long forward stance, and then when we shift, you're not changing where your feet are on the floor at all. All you're doing is turning your feet. You're pivoting your feet. So we're gonna come up on our toes and go like this, set our heels down. Now my other leg is bent and this heel is driving into the floor, but I'm still blocking this direction. So I'm not turning all the way and facing this way. I'm only turning the lower half of my body to face that way. Okay, so let's practice that shift a couple times. Only turning the bottom half of your body, shift, okay? And what that's gonna do is add a little bit of power to that block that we're doing, okay? So the blocking hand, we'll bring it up here by our eyebrow in our long forward stance, and as we shift our feet, snap that inside block out towards the front, towards the original direction you were facing. I'm not going this way, right? The person who's punching at me is standing right in front of me, and I'm just shifting and blocking this way. Okay, notice how high my hand is, and I'm not swinging way over here. I'm keeping my eyes forward, and then I can shift back into my ready position, okay? So it's bring that fist up, this hand's reaching out, step, shift and block, okay? This one is an inside block coming across to block that punch coming at our chin. So that's just kind of an introduction to the step, shift, and block that we will continue working on throughout the month. So practice that a little bit. You can practice going both directions, okay? Either side, stepping forward. So do about 5 to 10 going each direction, always blocking with the forward hand, okay? Blocking with the forward hand and shifting, all right? So 5 to 10 on each side. Ready, set, go. All right, next thing we're gonna be going over is a hammer fist strike. A hammer fist is a nice, powerful way to strike an attacker when you're in danger that doesn't have the possibility of injuring your fist like a regular punch might, right? A hammer fist can be way more powerful. Imagine you're slamming a nail in the wall. Boom. You're banging on the door. Boom. That's the kind of motion that you're going to be using to somebody's face, or maybe to the side of their head if they're bent over, or even the back of their head, okay? So think nice tight fist as always. Anytime you're doing hammer fist or punching, you got to squeeze that fist nice and tight. The thumb is out and around the fingers, not tucked in, okay? And think rock, paper, scissors, right? Only you're doing rock, paper, scissors, finishing on rock, and banging the door, okay? So it's that pinky side of the hand, And just like with any strikes, we're not just going to use our arms. We're going to use our whole body. Boom. Right? So with that first one, step in and then push off that back foot, boom, to really drive that second one in there. Okay? So again, it's hammer fist, 1, 2. These are forward hammer fists, moving forward. Boom, boom. If their face is in front of you, if you were going down, boom. It's still the same arm movement. The only thing that changes is the direction and how we move our body weight. Okay, so forward hammer fist, boom, boom, moving forward, downward hammer fist, 1, 2, right? I'm still using my body. I'm not just a monkey banging on the drum, but I boom, boom, right? Using that weight, drop it down, come up, drop it down, come up. Okay, so what I want you to do is, if you have that helper or partner who has the mitts, or even if you guys just have one mitt, you can still hammer fist on one mitt, okay? But I want you to do some sets of hammer fists up high, okay, going forward, okay? And then I also want you to do some hammer fists down low. So you hold the mitts out like this, and they go 1, 2, okay? So making sure that you're not just going da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, right? We're using our whole body, smashing into it. 1, 2, right? And going downwards. 1, 2, okay? Making them nice and powerful, imagining this is the head of the person that's attacking you and putting you in danger, and you're defending yourself, okay? So hammer fist strikes nice and tight, hitting forward or hitting downwards, okay? Do about 10 sets of up high and 10 sets of down low. Ready, set, go. All right, guys, so today we're going over number 2 and number 3 on our sheet. We've got trying and trying again until I succeed. What better way to describe determination than trying and trying again until I succeed? That means you're not giving up. You're keeping going even when it's hard, and until you get it, right? Sometimes that's practice. Sometimes that takes time. It takes lots of tries. But we're not going to give up. We're going to be determined to keep trying until we succeed, okay? Number 3, learning from my mistakes and not repeating them. We all mess up sometime, guys. I mess up even as an adult. I'm not perfect. I don't do everything right the first time. And, you know, especially if I'm learning something new, learning a new skill, but we all make mistakes, okay? And the best thing you can do when you realize you've made a mistake, or somebody lets you know that you've made a mistake, instead of getting upset and being like, oh, well, it's not my fault, or, well, but they did this, and it's their fault, or trying to blame somebody else or some other thing for the mistake that you made. Instead, be like, oh, wow, I did mess up. What can I learn from that? How can I not make that same mistake again? Sometimes that involves making poor choices and getting in trouble, and then realizing, oh, I got caught. And instead of just being mad at your parents that you got caught, being thankful. Oh, man, that was a pretty dumb decision that I made. I'm glad I didn't do something worse, and I'm glad my parents love me enough to teach me right and wrong. Okay, so we all make mistakes. We can all learn from them. When you're learning something new, learning a new skill, and an instructor or a teacher or someone who's helping you learn it says, oh, here's what you're not quite doing this right. I want you to try and do it this way, right? Don't just say, I know, I got it. That's what I did, right? That person is there trying to help you get better at it. They saw a mistake that you made, and they're trying to help you not make that mistake. So it doesn't do any good to say, I know, okay, I know what to do, right? You listen and say, oh, okay, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, thank you, right? And you try to make the correction that they give you, all right? So, learning from my mistakes and not repeating them. All right, guys, keep studying. We'll see you next time.